Hey guys, what is up? This is Cam Fats, aka Cam Jennings, coming at you on behalf of epicconversions.com. Guys, today I want to talk about three huge factors. I mean, massive factors that I see over and over and over again affecting people and keeping them from achieving like any online success whatsoever. I want to talk about these three factors today. They might surprise you, but more than that, I want to talk about how to fix them. So I think you're going to get a lot out of this video if you're out there right now and you're struggling to achieve any kind of sustainable success online, right? If that's your goal, to make money online and to not just make a couple bucks here or a couple bucks there, but to be sustainable, right? If that's your goal, you hit the right video. You're going to really enjoy this. So first I just say, give me a thumbs up if you like the information I'm going to be giving you today. Let me have it in the comment section if I don't give you valuable information today. I want to hear what you have to say, man. Your criticism is appreciated. Your feedback is greatly valued. Anyways, that being said, guys, let me go over to screen share. Let's get into it. By the way, you'll see a little icon in the upper right-hand corner called StreamYard. I'm using a service called StreamYard. It's absolutely free to people right now to use to do this live stream. So you can check that out in another time. But for now, let's get into this. Three factors. And I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, I got a little slideshow presentation here. Little slideshow presentation. I'm going to go into view mode on this. All right, so we'll let that sucker load up real quick. Here we go, guys. This is three huge factors that are holding you back from online success right now. We're going to talk about them, and I'm going to show you how to deal with them, right? So let's get into it. Now, if you can eliminate these three simple problems, you guys, you can be so much closer to online success. And I'll tell you something. It's like the difference between trying to drive across the country with a full tank of gas and a half tank of gas. You know, it's a big difference, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. By the way, guys, this video is brought to you on behalf of epicconversions.com and the Insiders Club. So if you get a chance, get over there to epicconversions.com and check out the Insiders Club. If you find this video informative and valuable, you're going to love the Insiders Club. So be sure to check that out. Now, let's get back to these three huge factors. All right. The first one is this. Your belief is not always the truth. What you believe to be true is not always real. Just because you think you're not creative, or you don't have the time to invest, or you don't have the money to invest, or you're just not good enough at technical stuff, or you don't know enough or aren't smart enough, doesn't mean that those things are true. It doesn't make it true. In fact, oftentimes it's not as true or as bad as we think when we are talking about a negative that's associated with ourselves. And that is true, right? Now consider this, guys. Right now, the world feels like the United States of America has the biggest problem with mass shootings. Like it's our problem alone. Like no other country in the world is facing this problem of mass shootings. It's only America. I know just yesterday and the day before, we had two huge mass shootings in America. It had me really bummed out and feeling bad about the situation. And if you just look around the social media echo chamber, you'll start to feel like, man, America's the only one with this problem. But look, let's look at the numbers here, all right? It's just not true. Let's look at the truth, all right? The truth is, when we look at this, mass shootings by country in 2019, mass shootings are incidents where there are at least 4 people or more are shot and killed by an attacker. Mass shootings do not always happen at random. For sometimes the perpetrators of the mass shootings, a family member, a friend, a peer, those who are murdered as a result of the act. School shootings are a common type of mass shootings, as saddening as it is, especially in the United States. Though there is not actual global definition of a mass shooting, the general consensus is that a mass shooting results from armed weapons taking the lives of many people at once. And we all kind of know that stuff. But let's look at numbers here, okay? Here's all the countries that are having problems with mass shootings, right? There's a common misconception that the United States is one of the top few countries, if not the top country, that has the highest mass shooting rates. But the truth of the matter is the United States is actually number 66 on the list of countries in terms of mass shooting rates. That finding rings true when all countries around the world are taken into consideration. You guys can come over here to this website. You can do your own research on it. It certainly seems like the United States. Well, let's read a little bit further. That finding rings true when looking at all countries around the world are taken into consideration. Looking at the United States alongside all other countries in Europe alone, the United States has the 12th highest mass shooting rate. A few of the European countries with a higher mass shooting rate than the United States include Russia, Norway, France, Switzerland, and Finland. It certainly seems that the United States has the highest mass shooting rate of all the land. But this has been proven untrue. In recent years, the Crime Prevention Research Center released information regarding the annual death rates as a result of mass shootings around the world. The countries that were looked at in this data analysis were all these ones here, right? The Crime Prevention Research Center looked at the death rates as resulted for mass shootings between 2009 and 2015. Here are the average death rates in millions per country between 2009 and 15. The countries are already listed in order of the highest death rates to the lowest median death rates. And we see Norway is number 1, right? And the United States of America is over halfway down, right? Now, I found this information surprising. So it was pretty interesting when I looked this information up. Like I said, feeling bad about the recent mass shootings here in America. Kind of wonder, man, what can we do about this problem? Are we the only country in the world with this problem? We're not. But the perception is that we are. So the point is, let me go ahead and get back in the slideshow presentation. All right. We're not the only ones with this problem of mass shooting, but the perception is we are, right? Now, the fact of the matter is you probably have limiting beliefs out there as well that are not true about yourself, all right? So how do you overcome limiting beliefs and perceptions that might not be true, all right? Now, look, guys, I wish I could tell you it was easy, but it's not. Overcoming something that you just inherently believe for whatever reason is difficult. As a matter of fact, as I showed you those numbers of mass shootings, I know some of you out there are probably thinking, well, where did this data come from? I'm not sure if I believe it. I'd have to see more facts surrounding it before I could be swayed in my opinion that the United States is the most dangerous country of all, right? It's just because a belief is powerful, and it's more powerful than facts sometimes. So, like I said, I wish I could tell you it was easy, but it's not. Overcoming something that you inherently believe for whatever reason is always difficult. The best thing you can do when it comes to this is look at every problem that keeps you from achieving your desired result and ask yourself, do I know this is true? Right? What are the real facts surrounding this situation? Do I know that I'm not creative? Do I know that I am just not a technical savvy person? I can't overcome it? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Just fact checking your own beliefs can be pretty eye-opening sometimes, as it was for me when I looked into the mass shootings. All right. Now, I will say this. For every problem you might have, whether it's not enough time or a lack of creativity or not enough money, I guarantee you I can give you multiple examples of people who did not let that problem stop them. Because I've been doing this for a long time, and I've heard a lot of stories, and I've talked to a lot of people. And I guarantee you, no matter what your problem is, I can find people who have overcome that problem. And if that's the case, then you really got to ask yourself, then what's going on with me? Now, if you truly have it in your heart to get something done, no problem will keep you from it. And if you don't, then no amount of resources will help you achieve it. And that's the truth in my experience and what I found. Talking to lots of people, guys, reading a lot about this situation, talking to a lot of people, and coaching a lot of people. What I found is if you have it in your heart to get something done, you will find a way to get it done. All right. And if you don't have it in your heart to get it done, then it doesn't matter how much money you have or time you have or, technical ability that you have, like you're not going to be able to achieve it. There's always going to be a problem, no matter what it is. I think it's one of those things where you really have to search your heart and do a little soul searching and figure out what should you really be working on, something that you won't have trouble getting done because you really want to achieve the result, right? Okay, so now let's get on to the second big problem. Okay, we've talked about the first big problem, and that is a misconception about the truth, right? What we believe is not always the truth. All right, that's the first big problem that people face. They have a lot of limiting beliefs that just are not true, right? So let's get on to the second one. The second one is this: there is a such thing, you guys, as oversimplification. And this is a big problem that you don't see a lot of people talking about. All right. Now, every sales page out there for every information product out there that you have ever considered buying told you it was going to be simple. It was going to be easy. And it was built for newbies. Every single one of them said that. But the truth is, guys, the devil is in the details. All right. Not everything is hard. But most things that I've found, they require practice and effort to get good at enough to where you're making any real money. It just takes a little practice and effort, right? There's usually some kind of a learning curve to where you get good enough at it to where you're making consistent money, right? And that goes from email marketing to list building to whatever the latest, greatest strategy that you just picked up on retargeting might be, right? It goes for everything. Right? Now, it's foolish to oversimplify things, you guys. It is absolutely foolish. I want you to consider the tiger for a minute. Now, let's get off the slideshow for a second, and let me show you something. All right? This is interesting about the tiger. Look at all these pictures. When I type in pet tiger on Google, I want you to look at all these pictures of people who have pet tigers. Right? Does the U.S. have a pet tiger problem? Look at this lady laying down with this tiger. And look at this guy here, feeding his tiger a bottle of milk. Look at this guy with his little baby Bengal tiger on a leash. And this guy here, he's reading the newspaper to his tiger, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Here's another picture of that woman. Look at these tigers. There's Floyd Mayweather with his pet tiger. This guy here, look at this guy, man. He's got these two giant Bengal tigers. He's playing with them like they're dogs. Now, look at this. Look at this. Tigers are not domesticated cats, nor should they be kept as pets. But many people still care for them as such. It's problematic to consider keeping a tiger or any big cat as a pet. Yet thousands are currently kept as pets, more than are left in the wild. And this is saying that there's more pet tigers out there than wild tigers out there, right? Now look at this over here on Wikipedia. Tiger attacks are an extreme form of human-wildlife conflict, which occur for various reasons and have claimed more human lives than attacks by any other big cats. The most comprehensive study of death due to tiger attacks estimates that at least 373,000 people died due to tiger attacks between 1800 and 2009. Right. These things killed a lot of people. Okay. Look, and here's the thing. I'm going to get off a screen share for just a second, and then we'll go back to it. But I want to make a point here really quick. All right. So let me go ahead and stop screen share for a second. Look, when it comes to these tiger attacks, all right, and I can see your comments, Evan. Thank you. Evan's saying thanks for sharing the wisdom. Appreciate you, man. Gun crime is a disease being planted by evildoers. You might be right, man. I don't know what it is, but I tell you one thing: America's not the only one with this problem. What's up, Gary? So here's what I say about tigers. Okay, now guys, listen. A tiger is a killer. A tiger is a giant killer. Like thousands of years, tigers have been killing for survival. All right. This is an animal that is not going to be domesticated. It's not meant to be tamed. I mean, you might be able to train a tiger, but you can't tame a tiger. Thousands of years of just instinct and DNA has made this thing a killer, right, to survive. Now, a tiger can kill a human just by playing with it, but it doesn't stop thousands of people from trying to have pet tigers for whatever reason. It makes no sense, but they want to do it. So let me get back to slideshow, and how does this even factor into what we're trying to do online? All right, so look, the fact is, guys, when it comes to tigers, we have a bunch of people with pet tigers, and they've oversimplified the situation. They think that they can just like train this tiger from when it's a cub, and it's going to be like a big pet. That's an oversimplification of the situation, right? It's an oversimplification to think that you can take a wild beast that is an absolute apex predator and turn him into like some kind of dog. It's a tiger. It's not a dog. It can like chomp your head off just by trying to play with you without even meaning to. It's a tiger. So it's an oversimplification of a problem, and it's an oversimplification of the situation, and it's dangerous, right? But in the case of online business, where it's not quite as bad as a tiger, right? But in the case of online business, man, we can be guilty of oversimplifying our problems, and as a result, we can run into problems too because we oversimplified the situation, right? Now, look, here's an example, right? Get this loaded back up to screen share. You guys have to tell me if you like this StreamYard software that I'm using, if you think it's cool or not. It's pretty neat to me so far. The cool thing I think about it is that you can use it on Facebook and you can use it on YouTube. So you can use it for both places. It's pretty neat. Anyways, so how do you overcome oversimplification, man? Now, we know, we can see in the case of these fools who want to keep pet tigers, and in the case of a lot of people who have just been fed an oversimplified version of a strategy on a sales letter or whatever, and now all of a sudden they're running into all these problems they don't understand. How do you overcome oversimplification? Because it's very easy to do, especially in internet marketing space. Okay, so honestly, guys, it's not that hard to overcome this. You just have to learn to look a little bit deeper than the surface level. You have to walk through the thing in your mind, okay? Like if someone tells me 7 steps to get to the moon and then lays them out for me, heck, I can lay them out for myself. I went to a museum with my kids last year, and there was a poster on the wall that said 7 steps to get to the moon, and it had them laid out there. I thought it was amazing. I thought this was an amazing poster and a great example of oversimplification, right? But if I tried to run that scenario in my mind through those 7 steps to get to the moon, like imagine myself doing those 7 steps, like I am probably very quickly going to start hitting questions that I'm asking, like, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do the other thing? What's going on here? How do I do it? Right? And when you start hitting a lot of questions like that with something, that's a very good indication that things are being oversimplified. Okay. Now, questions are good, you guys. Asking more questions is good. It's better to have the whole problem in front of you. Like, I hate surprises personally. Like, it's really hard to win when you are not seeing the whole picture, you guys. If you're not seeing the whole picture, it's really hard to win. All right. So they're definitely not going to give you the whole picture on the sales page, but it'd be nice to at least know like what it is you're going to be dealing with when you buy this product. Now, when you get into the product, you need the whole picture laid out in front of you, right? Now, if you start having lots and lots of questions when you get in there, and a lot of things aren't making sense, now there's a very good question. You're dealing with something that's been oversimplified, right? For whatever reason. Maybe the person who put the product out is faking it. Maybe they just went and researched a bunch of stuff and they never done it themselves, right? If someone's doing that, you're probably going to run into an oversimplified product. Not saying that's what always happens. Sometimes people just get it in their minds that like they don't want to put all the details in their $7 to $10 product. They want to save all the good details for like the $50 upsell or something. That's a strategy I don't really agree with. I've been criticized for putting too much in my front end products, but I just don't agree with it. I think people need the whole picture to succeed. And if I'm going to sell a product, I want to give them the whole picture so that they can succeed. That's how I feel. But yeah, anyways, questions are good. You need to dig a little bit deeper than the surface level. So that's about it for that one. All right. Oversimplification. It's a big problem. Don't let people oversimplify things for you. I mean, most things, you just have to look a little bit below the surface level, right? Ask yourself the questions. Walk yourself through the scenario. Start kind of seeing what kind of questions you're coming up with in your mind when you try to get through it. Finally, I want to talk with you about one more major problem I see in our industry. All right. And this is a big one. So let's get into it. Okay. Now, 3, being on the wrong side of the spectrum of execution, right? Now, you might think, what is the spectrum of execution, Cam? I don't even know what that is. Are you just making stuff up? What is that? All right. So the spectrum of execution goes like this, right? You got this line, right? And like on one side, you got likes to learn guy. And on the other side, you got like action hero guy, right? And it's funny because both sides have their problems. Like likes to learn guy never seems to get started, really. He starts trying to put a plan together for something, and then he runs into a problem. So then he has to go research that. He runs into another problem. He has to go research that. It's always like a failure to launch kind of thing with likes to learn guy. He can never quite get to where he's executing, right? And some of the symptoms are, like if you think you might be this guy, some of the symptoms are you never get anywhere, right? You keep on learning a lot of stuff, but you never seem to get off chapter 1 or the ground floor. Like usually likes to learn guy has many things happening at once, right? Usually likes to learn guy is feeling pretty overwhelmed. He's got a lot of arms in the fire. Usually likes to learn guy is not very efficient with time or energy, right? And usually likes to learn guy is pretty severe lack of productivity. He's not getting a lot of stuff actually done, right? He's just buying a lot of stuff and learning a lot of stuff. He's not getting a lot of stuff done, though. Now, then on the other side of the spectrum, we got action hero guy, right? An action hero guy, he just jumps into every single little thing that he comes across, and he doesn't think a lot about it, and he doesn't think enough about it. And both this guy is almost just as bad as likes to learn guy. And it's not that these guys are bad people. It's just they represent a certain kind of problem that a couple of groups of people are having, right? These guys could be great people, right? Symptoms, right? Sometimes spending more than making. See, action hero guy usually achieves some results. And the reason he achieves some results is because he actually executes on things. So he's going to achieve some results, but usually he's probably spending more than he's making, right? Action hero guy, he makes easily preventable mistakes, right? He makes mistakes that are probably pretty easily preventable, right? And it causes him to lose money and probably not nearly be as efficient as he could be, right? Action hero guy, he fails to plan enough. He doesn't plan out enough. He doesn't look at the numbers, right? Usually he's achieving some results, like I said, but he's not paying attention to numbers as closely as they should be, right? This person, he's not looking at the numbers like he should be. If he was, he would probably be doing far better than he is, all right? That's action hero guy. Now, look, where you want to be, like many things in life that require balance, you need to be somewhere in the middle of these guys on the spectrum of execution, right? You want to plan a little bit, but then you want to jump. You need a finite amount of planning, and you need a resolve that understands that, hey, man, it's not going to be perfect, but I have a plan and I'm going to try to execute it, right? Now, to overcome this problem of being on the wrong side of the spectrum, whether you're too far one way or too far to the other, to be honest with yourself, you have to move. To be honest, guys, you have to be honest with yourself and move outside of your comfort zone. Right? You have to move outside of your comfort zone, whichever side of that spectrum you're on. Okay. Now, if you fall on the side of likes to learn guy, not likes to lean guy, I'd put that together really quick, man. But if you fall on the side of likes to learn guy, right, you need to put a time limit on your learning and planning and then jump into it, right? You need to jump into it. Now, that doesn't mean buying more things. A lot of times when I run into likes to learn guys, they like to buy stuff, and they feel like that kind of somehow that's like executing a plan, right? But it's not. Buying something is not executing a plan. Buying a piece of software, buying a website, buying another course, that's not productivity, and it doesn't translate to productivity. Buying more things is not moving forward. It's just buying more things. Like, make a list of things that you need to accomplish to get to your goal. Then break that down into daily do lists, okay? Try to accomplish 1 to 3 things a day that moves you toward your goal, all right? And that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it if you're likes to learn guy, right? Now, if you fall more closely into the action hero guy, then you need to force yourself to walk through the scenario before you jump in. Run the numbers, right? Time block a week to look at everything before you get started. Walk through it. Map out each part of it. Understand the potential problems at each part, right? That's what I did, guys. I fell more onto the side of action hero guy. I have to be honest with you. When I first got started, I took a lot of action and I got some results. But I could have got way more results if I just would have paid attention to my numbers a little bit more, and I would have just kind of like looked at things a little bit closer, right? It's good to take action, but you have to take action smartly as well, right? So you got to just, give yourself a little bit of time to come up with a good plan, right? And like, no matter where you fall on the spectrum of execution, you guys understand that a solid plan will help massively, but also understand that it will change as you go. And probably it'll change pretty early on, guys. Plans always change in my experience. They always change. You always kind of have to adapt, right? Like, staying true to your initial vision for what you were trying to accomplish while adjusting for challenges you experience along the way, that's just part of it, okay? I don't know any entrepreneurs who don't experience problems and have to adjust their plans. But on the flip side of that, you guys, I don't know many entrepreneurs who give up easily or change their initial vision for what they're trying to do very often. They stay the course until they find success with it. All right, now that takes me to this spot where what I want to do is I want to stop sharing screen. Gary says he thinks he's both. That might be a good thing, man. That might be a good thing. Maybe that puts you kind of in the middle. Anyways, guys, I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope you found this slideshow interesting, and I hope it helps you along your goal. This has been another episode of Cracking the Code, achieving success online, entrepreneurship for the rest of us. And I think that's it, guys. I'm going to get me some lunch. I'm done. Have a great one out there, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Peace, everybody.